So most passive income opportunities out there require a massive upfront investment of either your time or your capital. But in this video today, we're going to be covering 4 uncommon passive income ideas that have very little to no competition. So I got the idea for this first passive income idea after seeing one of these paddle stations in Key Biscayne, Florida. And Paddle is the first self-service station where you can rent paddle boards and kayaks right from your smartphone, and it's a brilliant source of passive income. And this company charges by the hour for the rentals, and it's all through your smartphone self-service, and they also offer a membership. Now, it would be difficult to set this up yourself, and Paddle has said that they're going to allow people to invest in these stations in the future, but right now that isn't available. But you could still follow this business model and start an easy rental business. Depending on the type of paddleboard you get, it's going to cost you around $500 to $1,200 for the full rig. But in Florida, the average price for a 3-day rental of a paddleboard is $125. So let's say you spend $500 on a paddleboard and you rent it out for 4 3-day bookings per month. Well, that means that in one single month, you could recoup the entire cost of your first paddleboard. But then, let's say you decide to reinvest those profits into additional paddleboards. Well, all of a sudden, you can scale that income exponentially as long as you still have people actively renting them. So in month 1, you have just one paddleboard and it generates $500. But if you used that money to buy a second paddleboard, in your second month, you could generate $1,000 of revenue and then buy 2 more paddleboards that month, having 4 the following month. So it's pretty easy to see how reinvesting your profits into more equipment could potentially scale your revenues here exponentially. And you could eventually branch out into other rentals such as kayaks, beach equipment, or even metal detectors. Now, for this next idea, you're going to be able to earn passive income profiting off of the ride-sharing economy. However, driving for Uber and companies like that is far from passive income. But here's something new called Uber Fleet. They pair up drivers and those looking to rent their cars, and then you're able to earn a passive monthly profit with somebody else out there Ubering your vehicle. And if you decide to expand the business, reinvesting your profits into additional vehicles, it's very similar to our first idea. Uber offers fleet management through the app, and you can also get insurance on these vehicles right through Uber. And of course, the startup cost is a bit higher here because you have to buy an entire vehicle versus a paddleboard, but there is a higher income potential, and it's definitely more on the passive side. And if Uber Fleet isn't in your area, you may also want to look into Turo fleets that people might be operating in your area, because there's often the possibility to add your car to their Turo fleet and then split the revenues generated. So next up, we have an easy way to derive passive income from the stock market. If you own individual shares of stocks or ETFs, a lot of people don't realize this, but you can earn passive income by selling covered calls. Now, I am not a financial advisor, and this is not any sort of financial advice, but let me tell you the basics of how this works. The first step in selling a covered call is owning shares of a stock or ETF that you're bullish on, which means you expect the price to go up in the future. Once you own the stock, you can then write and sell a call option against your position. Now, each options contract does represent 100 shares, so for every contract you sell, you're going to need to have 100 shares of the underlying asset. When you write a call option, you're selling the right but not the obligation to buy that specific stock or ETF at a specified price by a predetermined date, but it's not necessarily an obligation for the holder to exercise. And if the predetermined price is not reached by the time the contract expires, you keep your shares and you collect your premium. Do keep in mind that it is possible for your strike price to be met, and in this case, you should fully expect the holder of that options contract to potentially exercise that option, meaning you would then have to sell those shares at that strike price. So you would never want to sell covered calls on an asset that you weren't actually willing to sell, because there's always the possibility that the strike price is met and the option is exercised. So what people typically do as a common strategy here is they will sell covered calls with the strike price being the price that they're looking to sell the asset for anyway, because then if it reaches that price, the option is exercised. But if it doesn't reach that price, they're earning passive income in the process through the premiums paid on those covered calls. But that's definitely not the most common way to earn passive income from the stock market, because that would of course be dividend income. So if you're looking to start a passive income stock portfolio, be sure to check out my affiliate partner, M1 Finance, to get started. They offer portfolio automation, a portfolio level dividend reinvestment, and even expert built portfolios that are management fee free to invest in. So if you guys want to check that out, visit m1finance.download, which is my affiliate link. And if you sign up using that link and deposit $100, you'll get a $10 bonus to invest. So the final idea here is related to buying and selling domain names, but with a creative spin on it. Simply buying brand new domain names and then trying to resell them is difficult. It's because there's not too many good options out there anymore, and if you have a big portfolio of domain names, there's significant carrying costs associated with the renewal fees of every single one of those domains. But a lot of people don't know about expired domain names, which is where there's been a domain name registered to somebody else, they decide not to renew it, and then once it expires, somebody else can buy it. Expireddomains.net has a constantly updating list of recently expired domain names, and if you create an account with them, you can set up filters to look for specific words or characters within domain names. And oftentimes you can find much better domain names through expired domains versus trying to go out there and buying something brand new that nobody has registered before. And if you wanted to take this a step further, you could then build a simple starter site with that domain using ChatGPT, and then you can sell these starter sites for $500 or $1,000 or more on marketplaces like Flippa. So there you have it, guys. Those are 4 passive income ideas that are a heck of a lot less common than many of those floating around today. Once again, be sure to visit m1finance.download to claim that $10 bonus if you sign up using my affiliate link and deposit $100. Lastly, I wrote a book about side hustles. It's available on Amazon, or it's also on Barnes & Noble, so be sure to check that out if you are interested in starting your side hustle journey today. Thank you so much for tuning in. Be sure to subscribe, hit the bell, and turn on all notifications so you don't miss a future video, and I will see you next time.